Hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. HOA Karen flips when I lock the gate on her 100 guests in my lake. Screams, I have rights. My name is Alex Thompson, and for the last 5 years, I've owned a beautiful piece of paradise on the edge of Blackwood Lake. It's a secluded 5-acre parcel with a private dock, a small cabin, and direct access to the water. Perfect for fishing, kayaking, or just sitting on the porch with a cold beer watching the sun set. The catch? My property borders the upscale Blackwood Estates neighborhood, a gated community with a notoriously overzealous HOA. When I bought the land, the seller made it crystal clear my parcel was grandfathered out of the original development plan. No HOA rules applied here. It was private property, full stop. I even had the county records and amended deed to prove it. I deliberately chose this spot because I value my privacy. I'm not antisocial. I wave at neighbors when I drive by, and I've let a few kids fish off my dock with permission, but I'm not big on crowds or unsolicited visitors. The Blackwood Estates folks mostly kept to themselves, except for one, Pamela Knox, the self-appointed queen of the HOA. Everyone called her Karen behind her back, and for good reason. Pamela was in her mid-50s, with a perpetual scowl, a clipboard always in hand, and an entitlement complex that could power a small city. She patrolled the neighborhood in her white SUV, issuing fines for everything from slightly overgrown lawns to unauthorized holiday decorations. She'd been president of the HOA for years, ruling with an iron fist and a fake smile. Our troubles started small. Pamela would drive down my private gravel road, uninvited, and complain about my truck being too muddy or my boat trailer parked in view of the neighborhood. I'd politely remind her that my land wasn't part of the HOA, show her the deed if needed, and she'd huff off. But she never let it go. Over time, she escalated. Anonymous complaints to the county about noise from my occasional weekend bonfire or environmental concerns about my dock, which was perfectly legal. I ignored most of it, but it grated on me. The real explosion came last summer. Pamela decided to throw the annual Blackwood Estates Summer Bash, a massive party she'd been organizing for years at the community clubhouse. But this year, the clubhouse was under renovation. Undeterred, Pamela announced in the neighborhood newsletter that the event would be held at the lakefront recreation area for a more scenic experience. She invited over 100 guests, residents, their families, friends from outside the community, even vendors for catering and a live band. Bounce houses for kids, grills, tents, the works. The problem? The lakefront recreation area she was referring to was my property, my private beach and dock. She'd apparently convinced herself, or lied to everyone, that since my land bordered the lake and was visible from the neighborhood, it was communal space. Some residents knew better, but went along with it to avoid her wrath. Others were new and just assumed. I found out about it 2 weeks before the event when a catering truck pulled up to my gate, asking for directions to the party setup. Confused, I checked the neighborhood Facebook group. I wasn't a member, but a friendly neighbor screenshot it for me. There was Pamela's post, complete with photos of my dock, claiming the HOA-owned lake access point was reserved for the bash. She'd even forged a permit from the HOA approving it. I was livid. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was trespassing on a massive scale. I called Pamela directly. "This is private property," I said calmly. "You can't use my land for your party." Her response? A shrill laugh. "Oh, Alex, don't be difficult. The lake is for everyone in the community. We've always had access rights. It's in the bylaws." "It's not, and you don't," I replied. "My deed excludes me from the HOA. Cancel it, or I'll handle it myself." She hung up on me, then sent a certified letter reminding me of my obligations as a neighbor and threatening fines if I obstructed community events. That was the last straw. I installed a heavy-duty steel gate at the entrance to my road, complete with a massive padlock and no trespassing private property signs everywhere. I also put up security cameras, just in case. The day of the party arrived, a hot Saturday in July. I was up early, sipping coffee on my porch, watching the chaos unfold from afar. Cars started lining up at my gate around noon. Dozens of them, families unloading coolers, kids with floaties, caterers with trucks full of food. Pamela arrived in her SUV, barking orders like a general. She had printed event parking signs and was directing people to park along my road. Then they reached the gate. Locked. Impassable. At first, confusion. People milled around, checking phones. Then Pamela stormed up, rattling the chain. "Who locked this?" she screamed. I walked down casually, keys in hand. I did. "This is private property." The crowd went silent. About 50 people were already there. More were arriving. Pamela's face turned beet red. "You can't do this. I have 100 guests coming. We have rights to the lake access." "No, you don't," I said loudly, holding up my deed and the county amendment for everyone to see. "This land is exempt from the HOA. Always has been. Your permit is fake, and this is trespassing." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some looked embarrassed, others angry at Pamela. Her husband tried to calm her, but she was in full meltdown mode. "This is discrimination. Community property. I'll sue you. I have rights." "You have the right to leave," I replied. "Or I call the sheriff for trespassing." She screamed incoherently, pounding the gate. Guests started arguing, some with her, demanding refunds for catered food, others with me, claiming they'd been told it was approved. Kids were whining in the heat. Caterers packed up, refusing to unload without access. The band showed up and left immediately. I stood there, arms crossed as Pamela raged. "You're ruining everything. Selfish. The neighborhood will boycott you." "Fine by me," I said, "as long as it's from the other side of this gate." Eventually, someone called the sheriff, probably Pamela, hoping for backup. 2 deputies arrived, lights flashing. The crowd parted as they approached. Pamela launched into a tirade. "Officer, this man is blocking community access. We have a permit." The deputies listened patiently, then asked for my side. I handed over the deed, survey map, and amendment. They reviewed everything, compared it to Pamela's permit, which was just HOA letterhead, and nodded. "Ma'am," one deputy said, "this is private property. No easement, no HOA jurisdiction. You folks need to disperse. No parties happening here." Pamela flipped, full-on screaming. "This is outrageous. I have rights. Arrest him." The deputy shook his head. "No, ma'am. You're the ones trespassing. Move along, or we start issuing citations." The humiliation was complete. Guests packed up, grumbling. Pamela stood there, mascara running, as her grand event collapsed. Cars backed out, leaving trash and tire marks. She shot me a death glare before driving off. Word spread fast. Residents were furious at Pamela, not me. She'd lied to everyone, wasted money on catering deposits, and embarrassed the whole neighborhood. Within weeks, a petition circulated to remove her as HOA president. It passed overwhelmingly. She lost her position, her influence, and most of her friends.